I'm a banker by trade. That means I get to spend my day counting thousands of dollars of other people's money. I get to see the crisp bills fresh off the printing press and those fresh out of a toddler's mouth. I think there's this weird idea floating around that bankers can help themselves to the money that they come across. Not true. I make a paycheck just like everyone else. At least almost everyone. You see, there are these folks who have nothing better to do than to try and take other people's money. And no, I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about bank robbers. For some reason, they think it's easier to take other people's money than just working for their own. And for prospecting bank robbers out there, it's not. A while ago, one guy came in to rob us and was pretty proud of how smooth the holdup went. He thought he was a lucky millionaire until he opened the bag and found 1,000,000 pieces of shredded paper. Another time, someone came up to me and forcefully said that he was here to rob the bank. I told him we don't offer that service at this desk and to try the next one. Although he was a little confused at my response, he graciously complied. And when he shared his criminal intent at that desk, he was quickly arrested by the security guard on duty. Then there was a time when one young genius ran out of the bank with 2 fistfuls of cash. Unfortunately for him, he was in such a hurry that he had forgotten the keys to his getaway car. I'd seen it all, or so I thought. It was a cloudy afternoon, nothing unusual, other than most people were actually being polite, despite us being one employee short. Then he walked in. At first I didn't give him much thought. He was innocent looking, aside from wearing a little too much clothing for the weather. But when he got to the counter, that's when things got interesting. He wanted us to cash his $100 check into $3 bills. After explaining that for over 100 years, the US government has opted to only print $1 and $2 bills, he said that instead, he wanted to collect his inheritance from his Uncle Sam. My heart began to race when he revealed his true intent. He told me he had a gun and to pass the cash. It all happened in slow motion. I thought about all I loved: family, friends, deep dish pizza. When I snapped back into the moment, the man demanded that I put both my hands up. I was in deep trouble. You see, normally I would have done just what he said, but the problem was my cheap belt had torn in half that morning. So that day I had been using one hand to keep my pants where they should be. Now this guy has the audacity to tell me to put my hands in the air. I was motionless. Right then, the only thing I could think of was, I want a belt. Thankfully for me, his gun was about as phony as a $3 bill. But even though there was no harm done, I was still troubled. I had frozen right in my tracks when courage was needed the most. Later that day, I sat alone in my office. I knew that I never wanted to be in that situation again. I needed a solution. It began with a belt. My coworker had been raving over a place called iwantabelt.com. That seemed appropriate enough, so I decided to check them out. And you know what? I realized that he was right. I was able to design my own unique belt, crafted with full-grain Italian leather. It was durable, comfortable, and fashionable. I had my confidence restored. I wasn't consigned to simply hope that somebody else would do something when a problem arose. Now, I had my hands free to do what needed to be done. Now I could do something. I know I want a belt. Do you?